Animal Crossing Gamecube could come to Nintendo Switch soon, and today we're going to be highlighting why it's possible, as well as discussing which of the 4 versions of the game it would most likely be. Animal Crossing New Horizons launched over 3 years ago now, and the community are waiting patiently to hear what's next for the franchise. It's safe to say the next mainline game is pretty far off, but it's not unrealistic to think Nintendo will likely release some kind of remaster or spin-off to fill the current void. After all, New Horizons is of course the best-selling Switch game in Japan and the second best-selling Switch game worldwide. Why wouldn't they want to capitalize on this franchise? Now, rather than porting a classic Animal Crossing game to Nintendo Switch Online, much like they have the Zelda games for example, it makes much more sense to capitalize on 42 million sales by re-releasing a classic in the eShop. And Animal Crossing Gamecube, or Animal Crossing Population Growing as it's often referred to, is the ideal candidate. And we've seen Nintendo do this exact thing recently for the Pikmin franchise when they announced and released Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 on the Nintendo Switch eShop. These games debuted on the Gamecube, and in order to hype Pikmin 4 and create more engagement within the Pikmin community ahead of Pikmin 4's launch, they released HD remasters on the eShop with a physical release due later this year. Interestingly, these aren't just simple ports either. They've been completely remastered, cutscenes have been re-rendered, and even in-game content such as the branded items have been adjusted or modernized. Clearly, a lot of work went into bringing these classic titles to Switch. Anyway, with this in mind, there's a good chance we could see more and more Gamecube titles coming to Switch eShop, much like the Game Boy days on Nintendo 3DS. And with a new Animal Crossing mainline game unlikely to release anytime soon, there's a good chance we could see the first generation of Animal Crossing remastered and released on the eShop in the future. But if we were lucky enough to see this, which version of Animal Crossing Population Growing would it be? Excluding the N64 versions, there are 4 unique first-generation Animal Crossing titles, including Animal Crossing Plus, the port of the original, Animal Crossing Population Growing, the US release, Animal Forest E+, the port of the US version that released in Japan again after Western holidays and items were added, and then of course Animal Crossing Population Growing PAL or European version, which is essentially the US version minus a few features and dialogue changes. Now, we know Nintendo are willing to edit, update and adjust Gamecube titles for Switch releases, so again, if Animal Crossing Gamecube were to make it to Switch, we would expect to see some changes such as modernized dialogue and features removed such as the e-reader functionality and most likely NES games, given most of them are now available on Nintendo Switch Online. So for this reason alone, the PAL version of Animal Crossing Population Growing would be the most likely version to make it to Nintendo Switch, simply because out of the 4, it contains the most bug fixes, most up-to-date events and characters such as Franklin that didn't exist in the original Japanese version, and already has redundant features removed that exist in the US version that would need to be removed before coming to Switch. This would also require less villager dialogue adjustments surrounding these redundant features, as they were already omitted from the PAL version, given the e-reader was never a thing in Europe, for example. Of course, this is pure speculation, and I thought it was interesting to think about which version would make it to the eShop if Nintendo were ever to follow in Pikmin footsteps, given they are also different considering they're the same game. But what do you think? Would you like to see the Gamecube version of Animal Crossing come to the Nintendo Switch eShop, or would you prefer a brand new, never before seen spin-off? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much to the patrons and channel members for supporting this content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.